Alright guys, welcome back. Okay, so I made some changes to the deck, right? Yeah, there's quite some changes in the main deck and the extra deck. Because what I noticed is that if you didn't get to your little guys, if you didn't get to Turbo Booster or Boost Warrior, it was kind of lackluster. Like, you couldn't draw as much as you would like off Librarian. So to fix that issue, you needed to change up the extra deck, which is why I added Barricadeborg blocker and Linkross, right? Of course, you had to kind of let go of a bit of the toolboxiness that you had in your extra deck for this consistency booster, right? Because it's a rogue deck at the end of the day, right? It's pretty rogue, so you have to at least be consistent, right? Because that's what the top decks are. They're consistent and they're powerful. So you have to pick and choose, right? Like, of course, you can have a high ceiling deck that can be amazing and flashy, but if it's not consistent, you're gonna get left behind. So you have to at least have a consistent way to accomplish a particular thing to be able to compete to begin with, right? And that's what this basically does. It lets you draw off Librarian without having to rely on seeing these little guys, and it just makes them to where they complement that sequence instead of having to rely on that sequence, right? Which is what I like, which is really, really good. Okay, so, and it also lets you play around hand traps a little better, but yeah, it's it's really, really good. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you the minor changes I made, but they're pretty drastic. Also, if you want any of these field centers or tokens, you can have anyone made, right? I personally made these. I designed these. If you want one made, just go into the link in the description, and you can check out Clinton's Etsy website and just take your pick out of the ones you already made, or you can message us and we can customize one for you. And then yeah, because they came out pretty good. They're actual cards. They're actually the real cards. It's pretty cool. The same integrity you would take care of your actual card, like an actual card. It'll be this. It'll hold up the same. Okay, so the main deck, right? It's pretty. It's like basically the same, but minor changes, but still. And then I'll be talking about some things that I was talking about during the week, because I mentioned Turbo, this little guy. I was like, oh dude, it's so cool. And I'll just yeah. So you have your basically your one card Brax, right? Hulk Fabrics. Because you have this guy, because it's so good with a Warfdell. So it's like it lets you do your play without having to normal summon, which is quite amazing. It lets you swarm basically. And then of course your little guys that help you extend and let you just Synchro climb and just basically fodder to make racks. So it's Boost Warrior and then Turbo Booster. This card's pretty good. This is why I wanted to play this guy, because for those of you that don't know what this does, let me put it close up. You can just pause it and read it. But basically, it's if one of your monsters battled, one of your opponent's monsters, you can tribute this one and destroy that monster that battled. So in theory, you would go you'll special summon this, right, and then attack something and put it to defense. And then what his effect is, let me put it closer so you can read it a little bit better. Okay, yeah. So basically, when you take damage, you can special summon a monster from your hand that's equal to or less than the damage you took. So these two go together. So you would go attack, put it to defense, you'll take damage. So they're either gonna negate this, they're either gonna negate this or interact with this, and then leave this open so you can continue your Brax play, because you want to be able to bait your opponent, and this would be a bait. It'll force them to negate something, because if not, they're gonna get their monster destroyed. So just go attack. If they interact with this, then that's fine. That's all you want. You want to make sure you get one less interaction to deal with. So you go attack. It goes through. You special summon any of the, because you can summon pretty much any of the little guys. So you summon one, right? And then on main phase 2, you use special, and then you just pop the monster battle, which is assuming the one you want to bait. And then since you summon the monster off Turbo Synchron's effect, you can make Brax that way. It was a little neat thing you can possibly do, but I don't know, I ended up still testing it. And of course you have your one-ups, which is yeah, your Lefty. I was playing 2 before, but I just ended up playing it just to 1. Yeah, it works fine. And then of course your 1 Mega Man to be a lion, because it's part of the sequence. And then of course you play 1 Despot. 1 is just part of the sequence. This one is quite crucial. It doesn't seem like it, but it is, because there's times where you're drawing and drawing and drawing, and then you either you have a way to make a formula, but you don't have a level 1 tuner. So this is where you search this with the Warfdell, or just draw into it. And there's times where you just summon this and special any of the guys. It's just a level 1 tuner basically. Yeah. And of course this guy's a new addition. This is basically a Odara for when you go second which is really good because like a lot of times you have tuning, multiple tunings, and you're like, oh, I can't summon twice. Like that's quite annoying. So this lets you, this basically it becomes a Dara, a searchable Dara. Special summon it, and then use War After, search something, you know, and it's just really good. It just seemed like, why not play it? It's like it seemed pretty logical. And then of course you have your hand traps, right? Which is your 3 Ash Blossom, because this and any of these little guys is full combo, right? Same thing with your Effect Failure, and then of course your Impermanence, because of the new Numeron deck. It's quite annoying. You just have to like Impermanence during the draw phase or stamina phase, so it's quite crucial. Which is why I'm going back and forth on main decking what's it called? Ogres and Chalice, right? That's like one thing I keep going back and forth on what to main these guys, because they're pretty good against that. You ogre the field spell, you just chain this to the like it's because you can't really do much. Like your deck can't really defend itself within the main deck. It's all little guys that make bigger things, you know. So the deck building is quite impactful. Like it's quite huge. But yeah, that's the main deck. Minor changes, but like quite crucially, like they make a big difference. Consistency wise, of course. I was playing Nibiru. If you watched the previous build, I was playing main deck Nibiru, but there's, I don't know. It seems like I'm still testing it. But like I'm liking how it's running so far right now. And then of course you have your 1-up, you have your Reborn, your Rhoda, and of course you have your triple tuning, and then you have your triple War style, and then of course triple Hood Iris. You go through this so easily in this deck, it's not even funny. And I'm main decking 1 red reboot because Altergeist and Eldritch is just you need to be able to have some sort of out. It's a 1-of, you know, like if you're going against an Emancipator, it's unfortunate if you draw the 1-of, but the fact that it's a possibility that you could draw this against your weaker matchups is why it's in here. It's prismatic as well, so cool. And yeah, and then some of the things I'm thinking of main decking, and it'll go past the threshold of 40 cards, is like I said, it was talking about this one. I was even playing this one and these. Like of course it's like it's a bit, I don't know, it's like you want to because it's not Imperm, so it's Veiler, because like it's kind of, because when you call with the grip of a Veiler or an Ash, it kind of hurts you as well, because your deck is meant to be doing that. Like it's meant to draw into Veilers, draw into Ashes, and that's how you stop your opponent. Like that's how you resource them. Like you have like you have your board and you have like 3 Veilers, an Imperm, an Ash, and like you just basically negate any sequence you're trying to accomplish, and then that'll hinder them, slow them down, and then you finish it off the following turn. But if you shut off the Ash, if you shut off the Veilers, like if you call with the grip of Veiler, you draw into a bunch of Veilers, like they're dead. Like you can't really do much about it, you know. Like of course you can maybe argue that you can fend off with the Savage and the Herald and Imperm, you know, maybe. But like if you don't and you just draw into Veilers, it's kind of like it's kind of like counterintuitive, like what you're trying to do, you know. And that's which is why I kind of want to favor this one instead, because like it's similar to this, but the only issue I have about this when I tested it is that it doesn't play around the Eldritch trap, the one that pops a monster up and stuff on the field, because like it doesn't target and it only protects from targeting. But like the only other thing as well is that if you make Herald, if you can find a way to Synchro climb and the Herald goes to the graveyard, you can add this and you can have another way of protection, you know, from targeting, so they won't bait you into like using your negates. But I don't know, it's something that I'm still testing, but like I'm liking that. And of course Nibiru, of course, and then main decking this guy as well. Main decking this, just, you know, but I feel like reboot alone, maybe this is just better side card. And then this little guy. But yeah, that's the main deck, right? Okay, let's put this together. Okay, so basically, one of the good things I like about the hand trap, which is I want to play more level 3s, is that it lets you do the Herald play as well without having to like play through Nibiru, because like it's so good. Like if you open up like this, because this happens to me quite often, like you open a bunch of little guys, right? Like you open up a Dara as well. It has to be that though, because like otherwise you can't do it. So you go special, right? And then you go special this guy, and then you summon your Ash, and then this can make your Herald, right? This makes Herald. Where are you? And then you special the other one, Linkross for just pot of avarice fuel, and then you do your regular play. Like I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's one of the reasons I want to increase the double threes, because the fact that you can do that is quite amazing. For those of you that don't know this combo, you should get familiarized with it, because it's been out for quite some time now. Okay, so it only works with if you open up this sequence. Like if you open up, it can work with Righty, but you need to make a Linkross, and this is level 2, so you can't really do it with a Righty, because then you have to Linkross this and you have a tuner. So like theoretically, you would have to do it with Adara or this guy. Where is it? Or this guy, or Veiler, right? Or Veiler, like this, because you need to get Linkross in the grave, so you can do the whole sequence without having to rely on drawing into these guys. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. For example, let's just use this guy, right? Because it's like the most common one. Okay, so you go summon, send that to the grave, go for Linkross. Oh no, wait, hang on. This stays there. Link this away. What am I doing? Yeah, there you go. Okay, then these two make your racks. Okay, and then your bracks will summon your despot 0001, right? And then this turns into Linkross. Where are you, Linkross? Okay, Linkross. And then you get 2 tokens, right? You get 2 tokens. Okay, and then your Linkross tributes the token, bring itself back, because you need to make your board blocker. This guy, right? Okay, and then you do this. Where is it? And you make this guy, right? And then this guy gives you 3 tokens. Okay, and he triggers your 001, right? And then you use effect to summon the whole line from your deck. Okay. And then this solves the problem of not having to rely on drawing into the boost warrior or the turbo booster, right? Okay, and then these make your Librarian, put it up here, and you get a token off of Lion. And this is what I mean, like you don't have to rely on drawing into the what's it called, the level 1 guys, right? So we draw 2 already, so we draw 1, draw 2, right? And then this and this, like right here you can go Savage, right? You can go Synchro into this, draw another card, right? And then you can just go Savage to play it safe, just pigeon, like, okay, just play it safe. Let's do that. But I like drawing a lot more, right? Like I'd rather have the pop and like draw up failures, ashes, and stuff like that. So I do the effect so I can have the jet engrave. So if I do have the level 1 guys, right, I can potentially draw into what's it called, pot of errors, and then just recycle the formula. Right, so you'll do this. Where the heck is the? Where the hell are the? Oh, right here. Okay, send 1. So it's a level 6 now, right? Okay, you drew 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna go ahead Synchro 9, or you can Synchro 7, but like this lets you draw 2 more cards, right? So you draw 2 more cards, 1, 2, right? And then depending on what it is you draw, normally you would draw pot of avarice, right? You draw pot of avarice, and you just recycle everything, and you just keep, and that's how you grind out your opponent, by doing that way, right? Like you draw and then you recycle these. There's a time where I drew pot after pot after pot and recycled everything, and I drew like a bunch of hand traps, and then I just, okay, well, I can stop literally anything you do, and then on the following turn just push, which is what I like about that, right? But yeah, let me show what I mean about how you can play around hand traps, because like this is what I really liked about this. Okay, so let's say for example you open up this and like these little guys, right? 'Cause this is what I like. This is so cool. The fact that you open up these and you haven't used this effect is so cool, because it lets you, like, it plays with your opponent's like mindset like they'll think like you don't have the extra extender, which is majority of the time that people do premature. Like they preemptively use hand traps that are meant to be using. So let's say you go special, special. You haven't summoned yet, right? Oh, you can't even special this because you haven't normal summoned yet. Let's say it boosts warrior, or you can just summon it right away. But let's just say this. Okay, special because you control a tuner. And then you go Linkross, right? And you just link this away for Brax, right? And then you use effect. If they stop you here, they're like, oh crap, he doesn't have anything. Like, I'll just stop Brax. Then that's fine because you can just go summon, bring out your Lefty, right? And then this guy turns into your Linkross, right? Where's the little fluffs? Those fluff tokens. Here you go. Fluff. Fluff. Okay, it's out of the frame. Weird. Okay, there. Over here. Like that. Okay, so then this is what I mean. And then you just do the same sequence you would have done if even if this got stopped, because this you have an order summon. So you Linkross. This makes your blocker. Right, and then this makes your other guy, right? So essentially this becomes 001, right? Essentially, yeah, you use 3 tokens because you know normally you would summon the 001 from your graveyard, right? But since you didn't summon it off Brax, this becomes that. So then you do this regular sequence. You pop a token, pop itself, gives you your Lion, and then you do the sequence, right? You just continue on, right? And that's really cool. That's what I really like about that. Can make the Herald first. Watch, you see what I mean? If you can make the Herald first, then that's quite cool. Okay, so you do the same thing, right? So you go special, you make this into the Linkross, and then these two. Oh no, not yet. What am I doing? Special first. Okay, you use effects. So you have to do it now because you have effective boost. So it becomes. Let's move this over here. Makes a level 3, right? So then these make your Herald first, right? It was a bit awkward at first because like it seems like you kind of clogged because it's taking up a room, but it should be fine. And then you do the Linkross, remember to fuel, right? And this, and you do the same sequence, right? The same sequence. Effects. This brings out your 001, right? And then this brings out this guy. Gives you the tokens, right? Gives you the fluff tokens. Spare my part a little bit. Okay, so this is where it seems like you want to get greedy because like you don't really want to use up your formula, but like it still lets you draw quite a bit of cards compared to like not like playing like into a Nibiru, which is something you do not want to be doing. Okay, so then what you can do, you go shoot this, bring out this to blocker, right? And then you can go because like if you do the what's it called this guy, if you do this guy now with these, all you're gonna get is 3 tokens and you're not gonna have a tuner, so you have to use it up this, right? Just to get it'll still net you a card, right? It'll still get you a card, right? Right, it'll still, you sure draw a card, right? And then you do this. Okay, and then you get your thing back as well. Then you go 1, 2, 3, and then you trigger your 001. If you left the board how it was before, you wouldn't have been able to get this guy back, right? And then now you just do your regular Librarian play. Pop, pop, right? And then this. And this makes your Librarian, right? It's either Librarian or Excel, right? Because if you yeah, but just do that, and you get a token, right? And this is just like a consistent way to get some sort of establishment, right? So you don't just pass like with like just a herald, you know what I mean? And of course, like if you draw like into the little guys, like if you draw into this, then you can, right here, you can just change it up. Like, okay, I drew this special, you know, and then just continue to change your route. But let's say you didn't draw any of this stuff. This is just based off this sequence, right? You go into this, right? You draw the card, and then you can either make a Croco Dragon or a what's it called? What am I doing? A freaking Dragster, or you can Synchro into a level 8, which is Savage, right? But let's just go a Dragster, just to keep drawing cards, right? You just draw some cards, right? And that lets you play around a particular Nibiru play, which is quite cool. And if you like open up Pot of Avarice, then you just keep digging for more cards, and then you just like hinder them enough, so then the following turn you just do this whole sequence again, and by that time you can you'll be able to see like the little guys, which is the extenders, right? But that's basically it, man. Adding these two were just amazing. It just increases the consistency by so much. Those little sequences make all the difference. It just increased the consistency beyond what it was already. Like, of course, like I said, the extra deck is a bit more strict, because like you have to play that, right? This is like your main, like that's 5 links. That's 5 links that you have to like contribute your extra deck towards, right? Like that. And then your extra deck is like this. Watch. You have your formula. You have your Metal Marcher, Herald, your Crystalline Quandax, right? Because that's still part of the sequence that you can do. Then you have your Excel, you have your Librarian, you have a level 6, just more spot removal. 7. Then this is meant to be Savage, but if you're on a budget, you can just play this. You can still make it, but like Savage is much more generic, right? Because you can just make it with the Excel on the token, whereas this you can't. You need to make it with this. And then of course this guy, just for the draw power. Like I said, you're not playing this guy, which it normally would play, and then you play Savage. You would play Savage and this, or but yeah. So the fact that you have to compromise, you have to like play. You have to play this sequence so you can have that at your disposal. Well, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.